A closer look at Stampede security after a triple stabbing.
They look through and they might show everything was legit, I guess.
The efforts to control the crowds and keep everyone safe on the Midway. Plus, new standards for school library books.
Hey, we do have to have standards in place regarding what's appropriate for what age of audience.
Teachers say it's an overreaction.
This is an issue that is something that really could have just been a conversation.
And peddling an important message to the city.
A lot of us are concerned because the area has a deep history of mountain biking.
Recreationists want to be heard as the city weighs the future of Paskapoo slopes.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We have new video tonight of a chaotic scene as the search continues for suspects who stabbed 3 teenagers on the Stampede Midway 2 nights ago. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But first, we also have new information tonight about the suspicious death of a Calgary teenager whose body was found inside an abandoned vehicle south of the city. RCMP have just released the image of the vehicle they say 16-year-old Jordan Dines was found deceased in last Friday near the village of Glenwood. It is a teal-colored 2009 Toyota Camry with black steel rims. It had been reported stolen earlier that day. Dines was last seen July 3rd at Chinook Center. RCMP say it needs the public's help to determine what happened from when she was last spotted alive to when her body was found. Investigators have not released how the teenager died. Police are asking the public for help to find suspects in a serious assault. They're also looking for a Good Samaritan. Just before midnight on Canada Day, police say 2 men chased another man in the 6400 block of Bowness Road Northwest. They kicked and hit the victim with an object until he was unconscious. The victim remains in serious, life-altering condition. A Good Samaritan in this black GMC truck stopped and called 911. Police would like to speak with that witness and anyone else who saw anything happen. A road rage confrontation in Calgary's southeast left 1 man in hospital after a run-in between a driver and an e-bike rider escalated into a violent fight. It happened just before 7:30 Wednesday night at 36th Street and 26th Ave Southeast. Police say the rider of a black e-bike cut off a vehicle, leading to a verbal exchange that quickly turned physical. The 66-year-old driver was hurt and taken to hospital in stable condition. The e-bike rider took off heading south on 36th Street. Witnesses describe him as an Indigenous man in his 40s, wearing a black jacket and blue sweatpants with white stripes and not wearing a helmet. Experts say never get out of your vehicle or attempt to de-escalate or escalate a heated argument on the road.
If you find somebody stalking you, try not to go home. Go to a public place where you can find more people, more witness. And if you got a chance to call the police, get the license plate number, any kind of formation. But at the top of it, again, as I said, just ignore it. It's not worth to escalate the case. That's number 1.
Anyone with information on the suspect is asked to contact Calgary Police or Crime Stoppers. The Alberta government has released what it calls clear guidance on the kinds of books it expects to see in school libraries come the fall. The Education Minister says he aims to ensure content is age-appropriate and free from explicit sexual material. But critics feel this is opening the door to creating a book ban and worry how quickly it's all being put into place. Tyson Fedor reports.
Alberta's Education Minister says he is not banning books in school libraries.
We have an approach that strikes the right balance. We believe that students should be curious, inquisitive, and exploratory about their world without encountering sexually explicit content in school libraries.
Instead, he issued a new set of standards Thursday saying all school boards must remove any materials with explicit sexual content from their libraries by October the 1st. The government says there's no list of problematic books, but teachers and librarians will now have to go through all their resources without additional funding.
Now they need to curate and do an inventory of all the books within their schools, including their classroom libraries. I used to have a classroom library in my high school English class that had probably up to 300 books in there.
The province defines explicit sexual content as containing a detailed and clear depiction of a sexual act. In May, the province identified 4 illustrated coming-of-age novels found in Calgary and Edmonton public schools, which it says violates its new standards.
No kid needs to see that, especially I think in my future, as a future mom, I definitely don't want my kids to ever see that stuff.
The order states non-explicit sexual content may be accessible only to students in grade 10 and above, provided it is age appropriate. Students in grade 9 and younger are not allowed to access materials containing general sexual content, but it's okay if it's about health matters such as puberty or pregnancy. However, teachers can still use any book within their classes for teaching purposes.
We find it's very dangerous for government overreach when these decisions are local, right? Like they're meant to be made, the choosing of the books and the selection by experts.
School boards must make their policy public by January 1st.
This will be some extra work, but it shouldn't be extensive for our staff ultimately to remove graphic, explicit sexual content from our school libraries.
And if a school board is non-compliant, the minister has not yet decided what consequences would follow.
If that situation arose, I would have to explore what to do.
And Tyson joins us from Centennial High School tonight. So Tyson, how are Calgary school boards reacting to these changes?
Well, Tara, Calgary's Board of Education says it will read this new set of standards before making any changes that it might need to make to its active protocol. That includes the rigorous process that it already has in place to make sure books are age appropriate. Now, Calgary's Catholic schools say that it will align automatically with this new mandate as well. So going forward, they will be in line with the province's new standard. And Tara, it should be noted that the schools that have municipal libraries, 55 of them to be exact, across the province, those libraries will not be impacted by this new standard.
Okay, Tyson Fedor reporting. Tyson, thank you. A plan to redesign a huge park on the city's western edge is sparking concern from those who love it just the way it is. The City of Calgary is looking for public input on its Medicine Hill Pascapoo Slopes Regional Park Master Plan. It wants to open up the heavily forested park to the entire community. But as Tyler Barrow reports, people who already use the park are worried they are being shut out of the plan. Tyler Barrow explains.
The trails on Medicine Hill, Joe Obad knows like the back of his hand.
It has a mixture of technical trails that are great for experts and easy trails for someone who's never mountain biked before.
He's worried the future of those trails is in jeopardy. The City of Calgary is developing the Medicine Hill Pascapoo Slopes Regional Park Master Plan.
It would be super sad to lose as a biking area.
Immediately east of Winsport, Pascapoo Slopes is 105 hectares in size. 40 hectares of it is developed, what most of us might know as Trinity Hills. The other 65 hectares is the Medicine Hills Regional Park. It is home to important archaeological and cultural sites. The city's master plan seeks to balance 4 pillars: nature, culture, education, and what it calls together, essentially community access. On Wednesday, Obad and other bikers joined demanding a focus on recreation.
It is not there as its own pillar, but if you come out on a night like this, you realize that most people come here to recreate.
Bikers on the trails Thursday echoed the call.
I would like to see it stay the same.
The city says the project aims to maintain and preserve the area so it can be used by park users for various activities, as well as share ecological information and cultural history. It says recreation is included in its Together pillar. The city's master plan hopes to create a blueprint for the future of the park for at least the next decade. Mark Stemler's home overlooks the park. He's been there 2 years and likes it just as it is.
I like it just to be forgotten about and just left the way it is.
And Tyler joins us from the slopes tonight. So Tyler, tell us more about the time frame for this development plan.
Tara, for those interested, there will be a pop-up booth here at Medicine Hill Regional Park from 1 to 4, Saturday, July 19th. Now, phase 1 of the input, that goes until July 21st. A link can be found on our website. Phase 2, that begins in the fall, and I'll seek public feedback regarding the initial concepts of the park. Now, the city hopes to have a finalized version of its master plan sometime in 2026.
Okay, Tyler, thank you. Let's return now to the stabbing at the Stampede. New video has surfaced of an assault there 2 nights ago. And a warning, some viewers may consider this video upsetting. The Stampede says security procedures remain the same unless the police investigation indicates that changes should be made. But some guests say they feel security has stepped up since the violent attack. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Video captures a violent attack on the Stampede Midway, including what appears to be a stabbing. It was posted to social media, and now Calgary police believe it may be connected to Tuesday night's triple stabbing. The video is partially blurred because the people involved appear to be minors. The incident sent 3 teens to hospital with serious and life-threatening injuries. While it weighs on many people's minds, it isn't changing their Stampede plans.
It's definitely scary, but I think there definitely was a lot of crowd.
I did read about it, yeah, but it doesn't concern me. I figure they've got enough security that they know what they're doing.
Some guests say security seems more thorough than it was before the attack.
I came a couple, 3 days ago, and it was much better. They had higher standards this time, and they actually were checking everybody properly, and rather than being it's okay and letting it go.
Police are unsure how the weapon used in the stabbing got onto the grounds. Officers are at every entry gate supporting Stampede security, who search belongings and screen attendees as they pass through metal detectors.
They checked my bag, and then we walked through the metal detector.
They did make sure they had a thorough look, and that's all.
Quick pat down, but smooth. The people that are working, they do their job properly. They know what to do, make sure that everyone's in here is safe.
Growing attendance does raise concerns for some. The day of the attack, a record-breaking 193,000 people came to the grounds, many for a popular concert on the outdoor stage.
Maybe just keeping a better eye on things and the crowds, especially I feel like they can get out of hand sometimes.
A security expert says you need a balance to manage risks while preserving the Stampede experience.
At the part where you search everybody that comes in, do you have cops every 3 feet? It's just, do you over-police to the point that it's not a fun event anymore?
Police are still investigating the attack, which they say was between 2 groups of people who knew each other. Guests say they still feel safe and focus on the fun.
I mean, in a busy event like this, stuff's bound to happen, but as long as they're taking proper precautions after that, then I'll feel safe here.
Well, if I don't have any problems with someone, why am I scared to come to the Stampede, right?
And Alicia joins us from Stampede Park tonight. Alicia, I guess concerts, free entry, the weather, all of those things could be factors that would impact attendance.
They do, and that impacts planning for people like security and police. On Tuesday, ahead of that Don Toliver concert, did put out messages on social media saying that they had crews ready for the expected large crowd. Now, emergency crews down here did as well. There's a private operator, Aaron Paramedical, who works down here, and they had an extra 8 to 10 staff throughout the night to help out with any incidents. And when it's a day like today, when it's a bit cooler, they tend to expect smaller crowds, fewer incidents, and then don't bring on those extra staff. Tara?
Okay, Alicia, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Let's get our first peek at the forecast and check in with Danielle. It brightened up out there this afternoon, but is it here to stay?
Well, we're on a bit of a break right now, Tara, because we have, if you look off to the northwest, you can see some darker clouds, and that's tracking our way. So we still have showers on the way in and potentially even some thunderstorm activity. We even have a severe thunderstorm watch that's just been issued for the city of Calgary, and to the north of us around Olds, that's where we have a severe thunderstorm warning. So here's what's tracking right towards us. Again, for the city of Calgary, yes, we have the potential for thunderstorm activity, definitely some shower activity. And there you go. There's a look at the watches and the warnings that are in place, which means that nickel, likely dime size, but nickel dime size hail is possible with this wave. So that's something to keep in mind. But then after this evening, we are done for a while. In fact, a beautiful, stable day with temperatures just right and a high of 26 and lots of sunshine. More details coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. It was a special citizenship ceremony with a Stampede touch today.
True patriot love in all of us command.
19 new Canadians became citizens this morning at a ceremony hosted by the Calgary Stampede. They came here from 4 different countries, and the new citizens say the ceremony was very moving.
They asked you to do promises, like everything. It was so beautiful, and it was very touching.
Yeah, I was kind of like reflecting everything that we have gone through past 5-6 years, all the hard work and all the sacrifices that we have done. But yeah, finally it has come to fruition, so it's good. Feels good, yeah.
Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Minister Lena Metlaj-Diab was here for the ceremony, along with Mayor Jyoti Gondek. She immigrated to Canada from the UK with her family in 1973. Gondek says Calgary is now the third most diverse city in Canada. Just ahead, he planned on just a little 5-day backcountry hike. It turned into an 8-day survival adventure fending off wild animals. We'll hear the tale next. And an Edmonton hospital has a new plan for stopping the spread of measles amongst people who are already vulnerable. We're back in about 1 minute. And if you have a news tip for us, text us anytime at 10-400. A scary ordeal for an experienced hiker who was supposed to be on a 5-day hike to a popular waterfall in the Vancouver Island wilderness. Instead, his vehicle broke down in the middle of nowhere, and he found himself fending off a cougar and a bear. CTV's Andy Garland explains.
Come on! I just got attacked by a cougar.
It was getting ready to pounce on me.
Dylan Beaumier says a cougar was stalking him while he set up camp as he was making his hike down from Della Falls in Strathcona Park.
I pulled out my knife and my bear spray and I started yelling.
At first light, he made his way back to his vehicle on a remote logging road. And as he tried to drive back to civilization, his car broke down in the middle of nowhere.
The oil pan had struck a rock and it was bleeding out oil and it got stuck in the mud.
Knowing there's no help coming for possibly days, Dallin got to work, cutting sections of muffler and using 2 spare tires and some branches. He built a makeshift wagon to carry his essentials.
I've been doing search and rescue for 6 years, and I've never seen anyone with the ingenuity that he had.
If fighting off a cougar wasn't enough, Dallin also had a run-in with a black bear.
His face was looking at me right through the woods, and I was just like, hey, get going. It's over 30 degrees.
Battling the heat, Dallin finally made it back to the Della Falls trailhead at the end of Great Central Lake and boarded a water taxi.
He gave me a ride out for free back to Port Alberni.
Looking to recover some of the items he left behind, Dallin walked into the Alberni Valley Rescue Squad's hall, but little did he know a search was underway for him.
The first thing I asked him was just, what's your name? And when he said Dallin, I was like, we've been out looking for you.
Before Dallin's hike, he left a detailed trip plan and notified family members, if they didn't hear from him within 5 to 7 days, to contact the authorities.
A trip plan is probably the most vital piece of information that you can leave with someone.
The 5-day hike, which turned into an 8-day adventure, hasn't deterred Dallin from exploring the backcountry.
Nature always throws curveballs. Like, you think you know a lot, and every single time you go out, you get humbled.
But next time, he says, he'll bring a GPS. Andy Garland, CTV News, the Alberni Valley.
2 bear incidents in Yoho National Park have triggered warnings and shut 1 backcountry campground. On Monday, a black bear damaged an unoccupied tent at Takaka Falls Campground. Officials say there were no attractants in the tent. A bear warning is now in effect. Another incident on Monday involved a black bear damaging a tent at Yoho Lake Backcountry Campground. That campground and connecting trails are now closed. Parks Canada says neither incident involved aggressive bears. They were just looking for food. Bear traps have now been set.
This is CTV News Calgary.
We almost need to wrap you in a blanket. It's so cold out there.
I'm still chilled to my bones. I'm a bit of a, wimp when it comes to the cold. And when you're in the shade, it's pretty chilly out there. Absolutely. This was a significant cool down. And really to the far southeast, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, Milk River, these areas, when we talked yesterday at this time, were in the 30s. So that's a dramatic cool down. At least we were eased into it here in Calgary. It's 17 right now. That's our daytime high. All right, so there is some thunderstorm activity tracking towards Calgary and moving closer to Carstairs, Airdrie, Cochrane. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in place. Cochrane over to Airdrie, up to Carstairs. Calgary, we're under a watch at this point. Less likely we'll see that activity in Calgary. We will certainly see thunderstorm activity, but to get to that point where it's the larger size hail and the stronger wind gusts, it likely will just miss us. So there's that little line of storms. I'm going to zoom in here and show you what's happening. And I want to actually knock out the lightning here. So this is a cell right here that will likely catch the west edge of Calgary. Again, at this point, it doesn't look like it's producing the hail or the larger size hail, but it may intensify as it gets towards Calgary. There is that potential. So just keep in mind, this is right on our doorstep, likely to move into the northwest edge of the city, the intense part, in about 20 minutes, half an hour. It will kick off with a little bit of rain. There is some lightning with this, some big downpours. The winds pick up as well. And then again, there's the potential for hail as well. So then we're done. Then we have some stability once again. So as this moves out, you can expect it to be stable by midnight, because we still may see a couple isolated showers until the midnight hour. Then things clear out, and then for tomorrow, it's all sunshine. A ridge of high pressure will build in, and that will start to heat things up as well. Later in the day tomorrow, we have the potential of just getting a little bit of cloud cover here and there. Here's that ridge of high pressure that will make its way in, and this should be in place until about 4 o'clock on Sunday. So for most of the weekend, Friday and most of the weekend, we are looking at stability and sunshine and really good stuff to wrap up this Stampede. 26 degrees, mainly sunny for tomorrow, and then we're getting to the high 20s by the time we get into Saturday with mainly sunny skies. And most of Sunday will actually be quite nice, but by about 4 in the afternoon, we get into the potential of showers and thunderstorm activity once again. And look at Monday, 15 and rainy once again.
An Edmonton hospital is now screening people for measles outside the facility before they come in. Staff at the Grey Nuns Hospital are screening people in their vehicles to reduce exposure to other patients and emergency room visitors. People who think they may have measles are being told, wait in your car, and then they're sent to an ambulance bay to get checked. Infectious disease experts say events like the Stampede and K-Days are a recipe for the spread of measles. They point to people being unvaccinated or not having both doses of the measles vaccine who are now traveling this summer.
This is a public health emergency. It is a huge concern that we have unmitigated spread of a virus that is easily preventable.
Alberta recorded 21 more cases of measles overnight, most of those in the North Zone. Federal employees are on edge. The Carney government is looking to trim spending. The question now is how many positions and which departments. And feeling stressed out? A walk in the woods may bring you the calm you need to recharge. Stay with us. Another challenge ahead as government employees brace for layoffs as the Prime Minister looks to cut back on overall spending. Cabinet ministers have been asked to find a 7.5% savings for the next fiscal year. It has many concerned. The cuts are doable, but not without consequences. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
I have a simple rule: spend less, invest more.
A new promotional video from the Prime Minister addressing what everyone in Ottawa is talking about, the call for big savings.
I will balance our operational budget in 3 years. We'll spend what we need to with the money we already have.
But neither Mark Carney nor his ministers are talking specifics about potential chopping block targets, with a new goal to save $25 billion annually within the next 3 years.
I'm pretty thorough, and I do my homework, and I'm going to do that before I have this type of conversation.
That $25 billion is a very large number.
The president of the Professional Institute of the Public Service of Canada wants to know more, worried about the possibility of cuts to jobs in Canada's meteorological service, warning of serious weather, for example, or food inspectors warning about food safety.
I'm really concerned that, it's not going to be just looking to find people through attrition. It's really going to cut deeply, and I think it really truly will affect service to Canadians.
So net, the actual number of public servants might actually stay the same.
Sahir Khan of the Institute of Fiscal Studies and Democracy does not expect immediate mass layoffs or impacts to services. He says it's more about reallocation to the new government's new priorities.
You're going to see public servants kind of have to go where the money is. So if your area is kind of getting de-emphasized in defense, RCMP, other areas, CBSA are getting emphasized, the money and the jobs are going to go there.
The call to Cabinet to find savings only went out this week with an end-of-summer deadline. We'll have to wait until the fall budget to get some serious specifics. And even then, this budget may not tell the full story. It's likely to be a multi-year exercise. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
You know what you're getting when you line up for a traditional Stampede breakfast. But this popular Calgary event goes way off the menu to offer treats from around the world, and no one leaves hungry. Pancakes are, of course, a common fixture at Stampede breakfast, but one in Forest Lawn this morning flipped the menu with flavors from around the world. Now in its 25th year, the Best of the East Stampede breakfast celebrates the neighborhood's diverse community through international cuisine. Terry Fikowski reports.
A lineup like this can only mean one thing in Calgary this week. Pancakes are a staple at Stampede breakfast, and while they're on the menu here, that's far from all.
Some international food, pakore, jalebis from the Indian, and you have tacos.
The Best of the East Stampede breakfast is a twist on the traditional.
We are serving like vegetable pakoras and jalebis. These are like Indian food.
Offering dishes from around the world to reflect Forest Lawn's diverse community.
Call it puro. It's from the Philippines.
The event took place Thursday morning at Unity Park, put on by the many merchants along International Avenue.
Just wanting people to come out and explore everything that makes East Calgary so fantastic.
The breakfast attracts between 4,000 to 5,000 people in just a 2.5-hour span.
I come here every year because I love this place.
All hungry for a world tour on a paper plate.
I don't know. I didn't ask what it was, but I'm going to try it.
Looks good, though.
It does look good.
But even with a long line, it's worth the wait.
The food's great.
Tastes good.
The only criticism?
No, too much.
From syrup to sword. Performances from a variety of cultures added even more flavor to the morning.
This year I didn't know there was so much music and shows and stuff, so that was like an extra bonus.
Councillor Andre Chabot grew up in Forest Lawn and doesn't miss the breakfast.
I think it's important to highlight the diversity of our city.
And it takes a village of volunteers to do so. Even Calgary Police trading patrols for pancakes.
And for the community that we serve, to be able to see them on a good day and share in a celebration like this.
Organizers tell me that this was the first time in 25 years that there was a little bit of rain and wind, but despite that, there was a lineup right around the block for the entirety of the event. People looking for good food, music, culture, and community. Terry Fikowski, CTV News, Calgary.
Terry's always willing to try anything.
Oh,
she knows
she
where the
does.
good food is.
And
We
she
send her
loves
for
it.
all the food stories that look good.
That did look good.
Okay, well, we know that most pets run when the vacuum comes out. Every now and again, we find a dog that likes to be vacuumed, but I haven't seen this before. This cat actually tries to get in the way so that no one can miss him and asks to be vacuumed. Loves it.
Looks like a little ride.
Yeah. I don't know what that's all about. That would be a very quick way to deal with all the cat hair, though.
I guess so.
Just give him a quick vacuum. He doesn't seem to mind.
Oh, cute.
Well, you might get in some dancing on this final Stampede weekend, but here's a mom who thinks it's a good idea to dance every day. So cute. The baby knows what the assignment is. This mom's philosophy is a shimmy a day keeps the sad away. Her moves are obviously contagious, and her little daughter can't help joining in on the dancing. Isn't that just a happy little video?
That is the best little family.
That is so cute.
You can see the husband kind of popping in.
He's trying, but he's like, not my thing. Well, if you love tennis, it would be so exciting to get invited to Wimbledon. Or would it?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's Hugh Grant grabbing 40 winks in the middle of Novak Djokovic's semifinal match on Wednesday. The best part of this is that he was invited to the royal box. So the queen, that's not the queen there, you can't see her in the shot, but she was sitting right in front of him, and he still fell asleep.
Look at his tie.
I know. It's just like that's
over.
The height of relaxation.
Maybe he thinks his sunglasses are like...
I think he does think these sunglasses are protecting him, but the world knows he fell asleep. Some relief for Canadian car dealerships is still to come. Ottawa will pay them back for EV rebates after pulling the plug on the program a few months ago. We have those details just ahead.
All right, here's your Skywatch weather camera, and check out what's just starting to creep into the city that we've been talking about. So, yes, this has sparked a warning, a severe thunderstorm warning in Calgary from Environment Canada. However, I want to show you what's tracking our way and what's most likely that we're going to get in the city. But a severe thunderstorm watch in place, and that's really from Olds down to about Claresholm over to Champion and Brooks. So in all of these areas, there's the potential for more severe activity. But let me go to the radar and show you what's happening. This is that little line of cells that at this point is actually starting to die out in intensity. I want to zoom in here, and I'm actually going to pop out the lightning. So you can see at this point, we do have the rain already in the northwest part of the city. The winds have picked up in the northwest part of the city. This will track through the entire city. So we'll all get the rainfall. We're all going to get a little bit of lightning as well, but we have a smaller chance of getting any sort of that large size hail. You may see very small size hail, but the larger size hail is less likely since this is dying out as it reaches the city. Cochrane, though, it's a little more intense there. So that smaller size hail certainly possible just south of Cochrane at the moment. Okay, that's the system we're dealing with now. We have the potential of showers and isolated thunderstorms, non-severe, up until about midnight tonight. Tonight, cold, just 9 degrees, but tomorrow things will start to warm up once again. 12 degrees in the morning, 26 in the afternoon. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. And just a little dance around here, quite nice and dry in BC as this ridge of high pressure builds in, and it's stable in central and all of southern Alberta as temperatures climb to, in many cases, those high 20s. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. Social media video shows a chaotic scene on the Stampede Midway. Police say this video may be connected to Tuesday night's triple stabbing with serious injuries. Some Stampede visitors tell us they think they've noticed stepped-up security checks at the gates since this happened. The UCP government is introducing new standards for school library books. The education minister wants age-appropriate content free from explicit sexual material. And the city of Calgary is looking for your opinion about its Pascapoo Slopes master plan. A group of mountain bikers wants to keep the area as untouched as possible. We have breaking news from the White House this hour. President Donald Trump just announced that starting August 1st, the U.S. will charge a 35% tariff on Canadian products sent into the country. He made the announcement just now on Truth Social. Ottawa is stepping in to help car dealerships forced to pay EV rebates out of their own pockets. CTV News has learned help is on the way after the program was abruptly stopped in January when it was apparently overwhelmed by Tesla claims. CTV's Adrian Gobriel has more on what they've learned and how it will work.
A controversy that began following an electric sales weekend.
This has been a 6-month hardship for small independent dealerships across the country that have been owed $11 million by Transport Canada.
On Friday, January 10th, car dealerships across the country received this email from Transport Canada saying in part, due to the high uptake, the EV rebate program will be paused in a few weeks. That weekend, a handful of Tesla locations across Canada reported the sale of 8,600 vehicles, amounting to $43 million in taxpayer-funded rebates. By that Monday, the federal program was closed.
Dealers paid out money to customers with the commitment to the Government of Canada that the dealers would then be reimbursed.
CTV News has spoken with some of the 200 independent dealers across the country who are out of pocket a combined $11 million, some asking that we hide their identity to protect their business.
In my case, we're talking over $400,000 loss. Huge impact.
Following a months-long investigation.
Can't say anything.
You can't say anything at all? CTV News has now learned that Transport Canada will allow all car dealers, including Tesla, to submit any historical rebates that were paid out to customers before the program was abruptly closed in January, sending out this email informing dealerships of a webinar this coming Friday and Tuesday outlining an important update. Transport Canada has also told CTV News they're looking at starting a new program, saying in an email that they're looking at ways to reintroduce a purchase incentive worth up to $5,000 that supports Canadian workers, strengthens our domestic supply chains, and reflects the times we're in.
I think we're going to see a renewed rebate program, and it's going to have some filters there that say the qualifying vehicles either are made in Canada or have substantial content from Canada. There isn't one Tesla production plant in Canada.
Canada's Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association is also calling on Ottawa to scrap the GST on all made-in-Canada vehicles, not just offer incentives for EVs. That's something the Conservatives campaigned on during the last federal election. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
The company that makes Nutella is buying the company that makes Frosted Flakes. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
Call it a sweet deal. The Italian company Ferrero is buying the American company WK Kellogg. The Ferrero Group will pay more than $3 billion U.S. to try and expand its presence in North America. Ferrero owns Nutella, O. Henry, and Kinder, and with this deal, will add cereals like Rice Krispies and Fruit Loops to its roster. News of the deal sent Kellogg shares up 30% during the trading day. And here's how the day ended. The Canadian dollar is up to 73.13. West Texas Intermediate is up $1.50 to 66.88. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it up to 56.38. And the TSX shot up another 109 points to 27,082. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Life in the city can sometimes be hectic, a little stressful, sometimes overwhelming. Now Albertans can reconnect with the nature that exists around them by forest bathing near Edmonton. Connor Hogg explains.
Mere minutes from the hustle and bustle of the city, guides are preparing to assist this group through the experience of forest bathing.
You're entering a separate place, a space that you can really hold for yourself.
When I first heard about forest bathing, I was like, are there going to be like bathtubs? What is,
That is a common reaction. There will be no actual bathing in water during the session.
Forest bathing comes from the Japanese practice of Shinrin-yoku, a type of forest therapy. The city-run program is in its first week. It's paid for by the federal government's 2 Billion Trees initiative.
Choose an invitation that calls to you. You can take a moment to figure out what feels good.
Sessions are made up of invitations, prompts to focus on exploration, meditation, or reflection.
I'm not artistically inclined, but I decided to draw what I was seeing, and I was actually impressed with what I was able to do.
I think a lot of people who come to this practice are just hoping for a bit of relaxation and are often kind of surprised by the feelings that it can bring up.
Immersing oneself in the forest, in the woods, opening the senses and finding a real nature connection to decompress from urban life.
People have had pretty profound reactions. Sometimes people are even brought to tears because they reflect on impermanence or imperfection and relate that to themselves.
Slowing down to focus on the things many pass by.
I have learned that it's okay to take moments every day to find calm. I'm much better at making space for myself.
Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
If you're looking to do something like this closer to home, there is a Canmore company called Forest Fix, whom we featured in the past, that also trains people in forest therapy. Well, he is a Stampede veteran, and Cody Cassidy is still chasing his first title in Calgary, but he's confident this could be his year. Glenn joins us from the rodeo next. The Calgary Surge defeated Montreal in the Surge to Stampede game at the Scotiabank Saddledome last night. Calgary came back from a 13-point first-half deficit to beat Montreal 107-91. About 7,000 fans were in attendance. The Surge play the Saskatchewan Rattlers in Saskatoon on Tuesday. It was a much cooler day at the Stampede Rodeo. Glenn Campbell joins us now from Stampede Park. Glenn, it was like a whole new rodeo today.
Well, Tara, Pool C took center stage, so that meant a whole new group of cowboys and cowgirls. Let's check out the action from day number 7. And, of course, we're going to start things off with the bareback. That's Weston Timberman of Columbus, Montana. He's aboard Coconut Valley. They combined for 88.5 points. That was the best of the afternoon. Ladies barrel racing, and we had some really good times out there this afternoon. Best turned in by Haley Kinsell of Cotulla, Texas. She and her horse get around that barrels in 17.16 seconds. That's good for a check of $7,000. Tight hand roping, and Marty Yates of Stephenville, Texas. The 31-year-old cowboy will rope and tie that calf in a very fast time of 7.1 seconds. That was the best of the afternoon. All right, a little steer wrestling. one tough day for the Bulldoggers. We did have a tie for first place. First off, we had Bridger Anderson of Carrington, North Dakota. He gets that steer down in 4 and 2. Later, Chance Howard of Sallisaw, Oklahoma, equaled that mark. So those two split first place, take home $6,250. Saddle Bronc, we finally had a Canadian in the winner's circle. That's Dawson Hay of Wildwood, Alberta. He's on Alberta Moon. Take a look at how good this ride is. 91.5 points. That was the best in the Saddle Bronc. Breakaway roping, we had some really good times out there today. Best of the bunch turned in by Bo Peterson of Council Grove, Kansas. She gets it done in 2.5 seconds. That's worth $7,000. And finally, bull riding, and it was another Canadian who stole the show. Dakota Butter of Etonia, Saskatchewan. He's aboard OLS Tubbs Big River. Those two get together for an 85.5 point ride. That was a great ride for Dakota Butter. Bulldogger Cody Cassidy is competing in his 18th Calgary Stampede. Hard to believe. He comes from a rodeo family. His dad, Greg, won here, and so did his brother, Curtis. But the Stampede title has so far eluded Cody. He's been close in the past. The 44-year-old is going to keep trying, and you never know. Maybe this year will be his year.
I mean, for me, it would be, kind of cap off my career, I guess, just with Dad winning it and, Curtis winning it. It's obviously been something that I wanted to accomplish and been, like I said, close quite a few times. This was the very first time I was here 21 years ago. But, it's still been a great rodeo to me. I've won lots of money out of here, and, I can't complain. And, I don't think it'll define my career if I don't win it, but I'd like to.
In front. Cassidy had a no time today, but he says he'll be back tomorrow to try to win the round, and hopefully he's going to get through to Championship Sunday. All right, in about a half hour's time, of course, the Rangeland Derby, which gets going on behind me here. So far, after 6 nights, of racing, it is Chance Vegan leading, Jamie Labacane in second place, Ray Cronto Jr.'s in third, and Logan Gorse holding down that fourth spot. Tara, back to you.
Okay, Glenn, thank you for that. Live from the Stampede grounds tonight. Let's bring Danielle back in for the last word. We got a little bit of active weather out there around us.
Yeah, let's talk about what's tracking through the city right now. So we've been tracking these thunderstorms, but it looks like at this point they are way less intense now that they're reaching the city of Calgary. So yes, there's lightning. Yes, there's a big downpour, especially in the west end, and the wind's picking up to about 60 kilometers per hour as this swipes through. The heaviest bout of rain is just to the west of the city. So it is thunderstorm activity, but it doesn't look severe as it starts to die out. So that's some good news for us here. Okay, looking at your Action Furnace 5-day forecast, the next 3 days look pretty stable up until Sunday at 4 p.m. That's when we get back into the risk of showers and thunderstorm activity. So we have a nice stretch of sunshine, and temperatures will climb to those high 20s for the weekend. And check this out, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Matt Melnick was storm chasing yesterday near Drumheller, that big storm we were talking about. So we saw it on the radar yesterday, but this is what it looked like from the sky.
That's incredible. Thanks to Matt for that. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.